kidnapped me. Lady Di, a modern fairy tale by Slobodan Radojev Mitric. Chapter 16. At the magician's, a black limousine, almost fit to be scrapped, stops in front of the old courtyard of a slum villa reminiscent of horror films. Princess Diana, dressed like an ordinary London woman in pink miniskirt, red leather jacket and lilac cotton blouse with a long black wig on her head, and wearing even darker sunglasses, kisses her butler, who on this occasion is also her driver, on the cheek. "Paul, come and pick me up at 6. The butler looks at his watch. "Are you crazy? It's only 12 noon. 6 o'clock sharp," she says. "Not a minute earlier." She gets out of the car. The limousine drives off. The princess opens a small door and enters the neglected yard. With her high heels she steps clumsily on the path strewn with small stones. Her violet leather purse slips out of her hand. In her tight mini-skirt she bends down uneasily, picks up her purse and with some difficulty manages to stand upright again. Her camouflage is perfect. While driving through London, no one would ever have imagined that the future Queen of England was sitting in the old limo. Last week, her bodyguard arranged for this meeting to take place at a time that the owner of the dilapidated villa would be free, with no one to disturb them. And because Prince Charles is always away on business over the weekend, with her rival Camilla of course, nothing stood in the way for this rendezvous. The princess stops in front of a large sign a few yards from the door of the run-down dwelling. On the panel, framed in plastic, is a poster with a text in 2 languages, Japanese and English. The princess reads half aloud, "KIDNAPOVALI outer space is governed by cosmic rhythm. The horoscope concerning the unfolding of human destiny was divined by my ancestor Genghis Khan, of whom I am a direct descendant. As a baby it was predicted that as an adult, he would rule China and conquer half the world. And so it came about." The chart of human destiny prophesied to the southern Serbian military commander, Alexander the Macedonian, when he stood before the gates of China, that if he dared invade this empire of the Middle with his army, he would die for all eternity. However, should he turn back, he would die young. But his star would have mercy on him by granting him rebirth after 2,500 years, after which he would succeed in conquering the whole world. This time Alexander the Great did not act as he did at the time of the Gordian knot. He obeyed the warning of my ancestors. The heavens are divided into 9 sectors, in which 9 stars dominate, relating to each other in good and bad ways. Emperor Hirohito, Roosevelt, Churchill, Hitler, Mussolini and Stalin. All 6 of them knew of the fate that my father and uncles had predicted for them. They could have changed it, but their stubbornness taught them a lesson in reason, and so 3 of them, Stalin, Hitler and Mussolini, have forever disappeared from this world, without the right to return. Emperor Hirohito, Roosevelt and Churchill, they have the right to return, but only after atoning for their sins, which they not intentionally but actually did commit. The heavens disapprove of senseless wars in which millions of people perish. Good and bad stars influence each other. Since I can behold which constellations of the 9 stars affect human fate, you may consider yourself fortunate that I am here in London. For I can help one and all by giving proper advice and support for the attainment of happiness, for marriage with the right person chosen by fate, for having children at the right time and forever being blissful. You do not know whether you are surrounded by people with a negative effect on your state of happiness, or whether you exert a negative influence on their happiness or unhappiness. I am the one who can reveal to you who you are, with whom you are and with whom you should and should not be. This revelation through my prognosis opens the door for you to this earthly paradise. I will predict your fate for just £100. A session lasts 5 minutes. Each additional minute costs £10. The first 5 minutes should be paid in advance. The following minutes can be dealt with later, but before you leave my castle, always pay cash, because I will not accept checks. Glory to everyone. Credit to none. Professor Fan Lee. The princess smiles and walks on. The door of the slum villa is wide open. The man of the house, husky and almost 2 meters tall, rushes up to meet her. The princess offers her hand. He takes hers in his, kisses it and motions to a simple wooden chair standing in front of a large old walnut writing desk. The princess walks to the chair, but does not sit down. The Mongolian locks the door, walks round his desk and throws himself into a shabby office chair with a huge back, above which his head is barely visible. The room is spacious. Thick curtains prevent any beams of daylight from penetrating it, and everywhere candles and incense are burning in large brass candlesticks. Have a seat, please. The princess sits down. Thank you. Why do not you take your glasses off? Apart from me, there is no other sun shining here. Do not worry, I will not scorch you. The princess takes off her glasses, lays them on the desk, pulls out 10 50-pound notes from her purse and puts them on the table. Is this enough for a start? The Mongolian opens a drawer, pushes the money inside with the elbow of his other arm and shuts the drawer. Is that your own hair? Of course not. Please remove any disguises while you're here with me. The princess blushes like a ripe red pepper and takes off her wig. Her blonde hair shines. Now we have 2 suns in the palace, jokes the Mongolian. More blushes flood the face of the princess. Thank you for the compliment. May I put the wig on your table? Of course. That's exactly what tables were invented for. Self-appointed Professor Fan Lee is a 60-year-old immigrant who moved some years ago from Japan to London, where he opened a private center for divination. All over London people whispered in awe about the supernatural powers of the Mongolian, who was compared to the famous Russian prophet, Rasputin. While still a child, Professor Fan Lee became a monk in Tibet, which he left at the age of 20, because of quarrels with his colleagues, who had mocked his spiritual strength. He went to become a monk again, to Japan, where he lived until a few years ago, in a monastery near the city of Osaka, where he studied the Japanese astrology called Kigaku. He once more or less in jest slapped one of his colleagues, a karate master, on the back of his head. The karate master collapsed and never regained consciousness. Fan Lee was not arrested, because this happened in the presence of many monks and all realized it was an accident. But it affected him so deeply that he left the largest island of the rising sun and exchanged it for the largest island of the setting sun on our planet. Since then, Professor Fan Lee smokes like a steam engine, gulps down whiskey as a thirsty hippo gulps water, and services the most beautiful English ladies as a wild stallion mares. He lives in this slum villa on the outskirts of South London, where he predicts the destiny of his customers according to the principles of Kigaku, and in so doing earns handfuls of money daily, which he spends the same day on expensive drinks, beautiful women and cigarettes. *. The star under which you were born does not align with the star of your spouse, says the soothsayer. Diana stares at him. He remains silent. Please go on. I do not know whether that is a wise thing to do. What do you mean? I fear the truth might upset you. Tell me, please. The magician coughs. He takes a packet of cigarettes from the table, opens the lid, puts a cigarette in the box and offers it to the princess. Would you like one? No. Thank you. The magician takes the cigarette, puts the box back on the table, picks up an ordinary plastic lighter, ignites it and lights his cigarette. He puts the lighter back on the table, inhales deeply and blows the smoke slowly through his nostrils. He opens the drawer and takes out a 1-liter bottle of Scotch whiskey in a glass which looks from the outside as if it has never been washed since the day it left the factory. Fills the glass almost to the brim, puts it on the table and pushes it towards the princess. Please. Diana raises her hands to her head and separates them as if to cut the air. No, thanks. I do not care to drink. The The Mongolian shrugs his shoulders, grabs hold of the glass and throws the whiskey over his shoulder. Then he puts the glass in the drawer and takes a swig straight from the bottle. He puts the bottle next to the princess's wig and points to the bottle with his forefinger. You have no idea how good this fuel is, even the evil spirits can be smoked out with it. Why did you throw the drink over your shoulder? To protect you and me, so no evil can overcome us. Because you refused to have a drink with me. Sorry, no problem. I have already neutralized this sin of yours. Now let's move on. You were born on July 1st, 1961. Well, I've already told you that. The magician inhales deeply. This time he blows the smoke out through his mouth and quickly extinguishes the butt in an aluminium ashtray which, like the glass, has since its fabrication never seen a drop of water. Yes, that is what you said, that is why I repeat it. Your star has to do with the number 3. So, the wizard grabs the bottle and takes a swig or two. Because your husband was born in the year 1948 under star number 7. The Mongolian grabs the packet and takes out a cigarette. Diana gesticulates with her hands. Please. Continue. He quickly puts the cigarette in his mouth, seizes the lighter and with trembling hands strikes several times. Finally, the flame appears and with the burning cigarette in his fingers, he stammers, I Reno, T. I do not understand. He throws the lighter on the table. I dare not tell you. The princess grasps him by the hand. Please. The magician puts out his freshly lit cigarette. I cannot. Diana opens her purse and pulls out a large bundle of pounds sterling and offers it to him. Here you have more than 10,000. Speak out. The wizard brushes it aside. Most beautiful lady in the world, it is not a question of money. What do you want then? Nothing. Quite simple. I dare not. The princess grows angry. Why? Because if I tell you the truth, it could cost me my life. Go ahead. I will not squeal to anyone. The magician moves his hand to the cigarette pack. Diana throws the bundle of pounds on the table. Let the damned cigarette be, she shouts. Tell me. He looks her for the first time sternly in the eye. In my own house I can presumably do as I like. She feels his virility. Something deep within her starts to pulsate. He is still staring at her. The princess crosses her arms and knees. Sorry. But come on, tell me, please. The magician lights his cigarette. I dare not. Diana shakes her head, lifts her leg from her knee and gestures with her hands. You think I will squeal on you? The wizard remains silent. He looks at the table and puts out his freshly lit cigarette again. The princess stands up, quickly takes off her coat and throws it on the floor, loosens her blouse, steps out of her skirt and neatly unties her bra. Her swelling breasts quiver like flowers in a gentle breeze. She pulls her panties off, walks round the desk and approaches him. He lifts his gaze up to her. She looks at him full of desire. Do what you want with me. But I must know the truth. The Mongolian stands up and gently takes hold of her hair. The princess closes her eyes, presses herself against him and hugs his neck with both hands. She begins to breathe faster. The Mongolian grabs her by the wrists and lowers them under his belly. Her breathing accelerates. With both hands the Mongolian takes hold of her shoulders and presses them gently down. For the second time in her life, the princess kneels down on the floor for a man. It is now 5 o'clock. The princess lies naked on the desk of Professor Kumfan Lee. He lifts her up, carries her to the bathroom and lays her gently in a bath filled with warm water. Take a bath first. After that we will continue the session. Thank you. Kumfan Lee returns to his cabinet, bends down and collects the things scattered around, which a few hours ago, he threw on the floor, and sorts them out on his desk. Then he gathers the princess's clothes, carries them into the bathroom and lays them on a chair. The princess is enjoying the warm bath. Thank you. You're welcome. The professor returns to his workplace. He sits down in his chair, takes a pen and a large poster, and begins to scribble something on it. Asterisk. Your star has a negative effect on your husband. If you had known that, you would never have married him. Your destiny improved slightly when on June 21, 1982 you gave birth to your son William. His star is ruled by the number 9. This star has a positive destiny in relation to your star. But the birth of Harry, your second son, on September 15, 1984, destroyed your fate. Because his star is ruled by the number 7, the same as the star of your husband. Diana rises from her chair, puts her hand on the cigarette packet. May I? The Mongolian nods and with an open hand pushes the packet and lighter toward her. Help yourself. Thanks. Diana quickly takes a cigarette and lights it. Is there any hope? No. That is why both of you unconsciously abandoned yourselves to the pleasures of extramarital sex. Your husband went back to his former mistress. A dirty camel. As you wish. Camilla's star is ruled by the number 8, because she was born on July 18, 1947. Star number 8 definitely brings you bad luck. This star can cost you your life. Diana takes the bottle, gulps a fair amount down and puts the bottle back on the table. What advice do you give me? A divorce. I'll have to. From the street she hears a car horn. Toot, toot, toot. Diana looks at her watch. It is exactly 6 o'clock. She stands up, takes her wig, sets it on her head and puts on her dark glasses. She offers her hand to the professor. That's my driver. Thank you very much. The professor takes her hand and kisses it. No thanks. Thank you. Diana walks to the door. Goodbye. The Mongolian stands up, picks up the stack of pounds on the table and walks over to her. Most beautiful woman in the world, you've forgotten your money. The princess turns around and brushes his comment away. That's for you. No way. The Mongolian protests. You gave me what I never dreamed of. This is for you. Good day. Goodbye, heavenly angel. Diana unlocks the door and touches the doorknob. Goodbye, true friend. Heavenly son. Something else. What? Please, never start a relationship with someone, even if he is a heavenly angel. Born under star number 8. I never will. Agreed. I promise. But why? That star will be the death of you. Diana lets go of the door handle. She comes back to the Mongolian and, standing on tiptoes, kisses him on the cheek. Thanks for everything. I promise you that I will pay attention to that in the future. But what you just told me, I already knew. You knew it. Yes. How? Another magician told me. But it was too late. I was already engaged. Who is he? From the street again is heard. Toot, toot, toot. Diana moves away from the Mongolian. I cannot tell you. You must. I dare not. I know who he is. You know him. I know him. For him you went down on your knees for the first time. Diana's face reddens as the sky at the rising sun. Yes. He is the real prince. Why did not you tell me that right away? But you said you knew. I did not. But now I know. Because the only one who could have told you that must be greater than me. Diana smiles. You are much taller than him. The Mongolian lifts his hands above his head, brings them down to his forehead, plexus, and then further down. He touches his fly. I know he is not bigger than me in height, but I mean in terms of brain, the mind. And as you know down there, Diana blushes even more. You know him. The Mongolian comes closer to her, bends and whispers something into her ear. Then he separates himself from her. Was it him? Yes. Why did you not obey him? I told you. It was too late and I thought he was kidding me. The Mongolian shakes his head and sighs. Goodbye. Bye. The princess leaves the ramshackle building.